Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Happy Wednesday. I hope your week is going well so far. Ours is going great. Our sales are maintaining. They are doing very well. And I am going to show you a little bit over 20 items that have for us in the last week in the $20 to $50 range. And then I think I actually have enough to do a high dollar what sold video for you again on Friday, because we really have been having a lot of high dollar sales. Our average sales price is up, which is absolutely wonderful and is one of my goals for this year, is to increase that. So I'm very happy with everything and how it is going. Super excited to share these items with you. Some of them did take a little bit longer to sell. There are also quite a few that sold very fast. So this video should help you learn a little bit about what is selling right now for us on our eBay store. That way, if you see it while you're out sourcing, or if you have it in your death file, you can get it listed. So let's go ahead and take a look. All right, so here is our sales chart for the last 31 days. Today we are at $411. For the week, we're at $42.50, which is up 87.1% over last month. So we are doing absolutely wonderful. I'm very happy with where we're at. We're getting close to the 20,000. That is my goal. We are at 17,402, and we are at 38.5 for the last 90 days. So getting closer to that 40,000. We are pushing towards that. And then of course we'll push towards the 50,000. So again, I'm going to show you about 20 or so items that have sold during the last week to make up that 42.50. These are all going to be lower ones that'll be a little bit easier to find. And then on Friday, I will show you the higher dollar items. All right, I'm going to throw a little wrench in our order here because I only have 2 Poshmark items. So I'm going to go ahead and show you those. If you don't know, we do cross-post using List Perfectly. If you're thinking about a service, I would definitely recommend them. And I can pop up a video for you of their AI software, which is really cool and creates listings from just photos. So this is a Vera Bradley Twilight Paisley Quilted Tote bag, large weekender, new without tags, pink lining. What sucks about this one is it had the tags, and somewhere between the thrift store and my shed, the tags were lost, but it did have the tags. So I knew it was new without tags. It sold for $42. I did pay up for it at the thrift store. It was priced $20, but it was half off day, so I only paid $10 for it. And that makes it about a $25 profit. Did take a few months to sell. So some Vera Bradley is in demand and some is not. So you really have to look up the pattern that you have. And Google Lens really helps with identifying what pattern you have. And this one was a really good sale, and I'm happy with the $25 profit. The second item for Poshmark is this vintage wooden Nutcracker King with crown and sword. I did put 11 inches tall, Christmas and soldier. This one sold for $21. The payout was $14. This sold very fast, and it's June. So if you think your Christmas stuff won't sell year round, I am here to tell you it will. And this one I got in a big lot of nutcrackers, so I'm only about $2 in. So it's a $12 profit. And some of the nutcrackers that I got are going to be more profit. That is why I got it. You can see this one did have some condition issues, and still sold pretty fast for that $21, making it a quick $12 profit. All right, first up is some jewelry. I have been listing more jewelry. Therefore, if you list more jewelry, you tend to sell more jewelry. This is a pair of vintage sterling silver red carnelian and marcasite, which I misspelled, statement long dangle earrings, 3 inches. These sold for a best offer of $35. These were really pretty earrings, and I got them in an online lot. I paid $5 for them. So they are going to be about a $22 profit after fees, and these sold in under a week. They were a very fast sale. Next up is one that took a little bit longer. This one took right at a year. This is a 1920s off-white beige seed beaded clutch purse. I did put Belgium flapper and see photos, and it did have a little bit of damage. So that could be what took it so long to sell, but it did sell for $27.99. And I got it in an online auction lot for $5. So this one is about a $15 profit. And you can see here there are some beads missing. That is why we put see photos. You can see also the, oh, what is it called? The hem here. That's not the right word. Whatever that is ripped. The inside was almost completely missing. It was very, very small and still sold for that $27.99. But again, it did take a year. Next up was another very, very fast sale. This is a vintage signed MMA 1985 museum replica gold tone open work brooch flower art deco, sold in under a week, and it did sell for full price at $29.99. This is another online auction lot buy, but this one I'm only about $3 into. So this one is going to be about a $21 profit after fees, very, very fast. So I have told you guys before, we sold some other MMA pieces here recently, and this one does not look to be signed. So this one, I learned what it was by Google Lens, and it was not a signed piece and still sold very, very fast. Next up is one that I love to buy. I will probably continue to buy, and they're really hit or miss on if they sell fast or slow. So these are Deruta Sberna Italian pottery Dipinto a Mano 6-inch round bowls. I did put them in a set of 4. I had them at $69.99, and I do believe they are worth that, but I have had them for about 14 months. Someone made me an offer of $31.50. I accepted. I actually bought a big set of the Deruta pieces for $20 for the whole set. So I'm less than 5 into these, making them about a $20 profit. And somebody asked me how I knew, and one of the pieces out of like 20 had that original sticker on there. So that is how I was able to identify exactly what these bowls were. And it took 14 months. I accepted under half, but I am happy that they are gone, and it is still a good profit. Next up is another one that took over a year to sell, right at a year. This is an IKEA Ransby Spring Summer Flowers Purple Floral Flat Sheet. It is a twin size, and this one sold for a best offer of $20. Picked this up at the thrift store for $2. So this one's about a $14 profit. The sheets go into that linen category where it's very, very hard to tell exactly how long they're going to take to sell, unless they're a really, really popular brand like your Ralph Lauren does very well, and some of the Waverleys. It really depends on the print, and just really hard to tell with them. So year and decent profit, and sheets are not that hard to photograph. You can see they're the IKEA, and IKEA is stuff I will continue to pick up, but I like to make sure to tell you guys every video, if you don't have a lot of space, I would steer clear of the linens, even though I really do love them. Next up is one that I'm really, really happy with how long it took to sell. It took 3 months, but it's actually an unbranded little handmade quilted purse. Really, really cute. Floral patchwork crossbody, sold for full price of $19.99. Picked it up at the thrift store for $2. So about a $14 profit after the fees. And you can see I did use zoomed in for, I'm like click happy today. I did use the zoomed in one for my first photo, not with the strap, because I really wanted to show the pattern of this. So I would recommend that when you've got the purses, because here it's really hard to see that pattern. But if you do it zoomed in like this, you can see it much more clearly. And I think that does help them to sell a little bit faster. Next up is one that took about 5 months to sell. This is a gorgeous little Acoma pottery turtle. It is a mini one. It's only 2 inches, and it was signed H. Bradley. I sent out a 35% off offer on this one, and it was accepted of $25.99. Got this in an online auction lot for about $5, and that makes it about a $14 profit. at that 5-month point. But again, this is really small, so not hard to store. There you can see that H. Bradley. My mouse is liking to click. You can see this little guy wasn't even an inch tall. So really, really small, easy to ship, and a great sale at 5 months. A lot of the Native American pottery pieces are another one that's kind of hit or miss as far as how long it takes to sell. Next up is a little Christmas toy. It is an ornament, a little airplane. It says Santa & Co. This one sold for a best offer of $18.50. Did take over a year to sell, and I want to point out again, another Christmas item selling in June. So list your Christmas year round. Here you can see the photos. This was a really cute little tin plane. And it took a long time, but I got it in an ornament lot, so I actually paid less than $1 for this one. So it is going to be about a $14 profit, even though it did take a long time to sell. It did not take up much storage space. Next up is one that sold relatively fast. This one sold in about a month and a half. I actually picked this up while I was down in the Fort Myers area for spring break. And this one sold for $45. I picked it up for $20 at a thrift store there. I did pay up, but I thought it was such a cool piece. It is a vintage cast brass door knocker with the U.S. Marine Corps insignia. It was very heavy, and the brass anchor and the globe there lifted up. That was the door knocker. So it sold for $45. So it's about a $15 profit, but this was just a neat piece. It was customized. You can see there the button Julie, and really, really good sale. Not a big profit because I paid up, but it was just too interesting of a piece to leave behind. I feel like it's Christmas in July with all of this Christmas stuff. Here's another Christmas ornament. This is actually a little tree topper. This one's mercury glass, indented finial ornament. And this one sold for a best offer I sent out of $38.99. It was listed just 3 months ago, so not very long. And I am only a couple dollars into it. So this one's about a $28 profit. And really, really neat piece. I do not know what is going on with my clicking here. I'll try to click through them slower. My mouse, it seems, when I scroll over the arrow, is just doing what it wants. I'm not sure what's going on. But really, really good sale. And it seems like a lot of Christmas is going out this week. Next up is a set of 4 coasters. These took over a year to sell. Coasters are something I like to pick up. Really easy to photograph, list, and ship. And you can normally get them pretty cheap. So I paid $1 for these at an estate sale, and they sold for a full price of $19.49. So they're about a $14 profit, and they are cork backed. You can see the Marie Antoinette there. Really, really pretty Victorian style coasters. And not a bad sale, but they did take a year. So coasters are another item that I get that is longer tail. And I do have a decent mix of long tail and shorter tail items. Next up is a very, very fast sale. These actually sold in a day. I say these, but it's actually only one little figurine of 3 dogs. So it sold for a best offer I sent out. If you don't know, I do send out best offers from day one of the listing for 10% off, which is what these sold for. They sold for $17.99. I got these in a big lot of dog figurines, less than $1 in. So they're about a $12 profit after fees. And these had some damage. You can see there the Japan mark, and really, really small, and had some chipping and condition issues, and still sold very, very fast. Next up is another one that took a year and took 55% off to get it gone. This is a WDCC Walt Disney Classics Real Trooper, the Nephew Duck. And I actually have 2 of these, or I had 2. I sold one for the $31.50. I do have one still left. So I got a bunch of WDCC figurines, and all of them except for these have sold. So this one just was not as popular and sold for $31.50. I paid $5, about a $20 profit after fees, and I do still have the one left. And I might need to comp this again and lower that price. You can see here it was new in the box with the certificate of authenticity and in really, really great shape. I don't believe it was ever even displayed, but it took over a year. And yeah, this is one that just kind of came along with the lot. That happens a lot. I'll get longer tail items, but if they're worth over that $20, $25 mark, I do still list them. Next up is another long tail item, and this one surprisingly sold right after Father's Day. I did put Father's Day in the title. This shirt says anyone can be a father, but it takes someone special to be a dad. I also put outdoors t-shirt, gray, men's large. I probably would have done a little better with this one if I put fishing and hunting in that title, because it did take over a year to sell, and it however sold for full price. So that is always a good thing when they sell for full price after being listed so long. And you can see that I did show the graphic up close for the first picture again. That one's kind of like the purse, where you really want them to be able to see the graphics rather than the rest of the shirt. Another one that took just over a year to sell. This is a mother of pearl marcasite designer Ross Simon's flower pendant. This one surprised me taking so long, but it is never a guarantee how fast something is going to sell. This one took the 55% off offer, which was $31.50 to get it sold. This was from an online estate lot though, so only $5 in, about a $20 profit. And here you can see the photos. And in my experience here recently, I haven't been selling marcasite very fast. And I absolutely love to pick it up. I love kind of the Art Deco look in jewelry, so I'll keep buying it, but it does take a while to sell. Next up was a very fast sale. This one sold in a day for $49.99, full price. This is a vintage solid brass cat figurine stretching with the arched back, and I did put small sculpture, MCM, and mini, and got this in a lot, only a couple of dollars in. I couldn't find this exact cat, so I priced high, and I don't know if I didn't price high enough. You can see here it's very, very small and sold super fast at full price of $50. So this one is about a $40 profit in less than 2 days. Next up is another fast sale. This one sold in a month and also sold for full price of $49.99. This is a vintage Murano black Millefiori glass pendant and earring set. And this one I picked up on an online auction for $10. So this one is about a $28 to $30 profit. Very, very fast. You can see here that main pendant's just a little over an inch. There you could see it is signed AMV. I did not put that in my title, and it still sold very, very fast. I'm not sure that AMV is a very well-known brand, so a lot of times if the maker is not well known, I would rather put important keywords in that title versus putting the maker. Next up is 6-month sale, and that is this little Swarovski figurine. This one was new with the box, and it sold for a best offer I sent out of $22.74. I got it in an online lot with a bunch of smaller ones, paid $5, so about a $12 to $13 profit, and it did take close to 6 months. I like picking up Swarovski, especially if they are in the package, because this protects it and makes shipping very, very easy. Next up is another fast full price sale, and that is these Crocs blue flip-flops. They were men's size 9 or women's 11, and these I picked up at Junk in the Trunk and Outdoor Yard Sale for $4. They sold for full price at $20. I did get some lower offers. I declined them. I knew these would sell without me having to go below what I was wanting. So they are about $11 profit, but very fast. So I'm okay with picking up Crocs that are not your traditional Crocs and paying like that $4 or $5 mark, even though they only sell for 20 to 30, because they do sell very fast. And these were in excellent condition, which definitely is going to help you sell them a little bit faster, and good size both for men's and women if they're looking for larger sizes, because a lot of times those are more difficult to find. Oh, the linens and the long tail. This is a handmade camouflage crochet blanket. This one just shy of a year to sell, but picked it up for $5 at the thrift store. It did sell for full price of $39.99. So it is about a $27 profit. And you can see here the folded, but I think it displayed better laid out. Sometimes I will do the folded one up front if I think it displays better, but with this one I think it looked better laid out. And again, not to beat a dead horse here, but the linens can take a long time to sell, and the crochet blankets do take up a decent amount of space. So if you're going to pick up stuff like this, make sure you have the room and are ready to hold out and wait a year, sometimes more, for it to sell. Next up is a Nike New York Yankees MLB hoodie. This is a size medium, so not the best size. I got this in an online auction lot with a bunch of sports stuff. I paid $5. It did take a 55% off offer to get it sold. It sold for $25.20, so only about a $13 profit on this one, and it took a while. And I think a lot of that is probably being size medium, because the Yankees have been doing pretty decent. They're actually leading the league. My team is just below them. We're behind them by just a few games. So I am glad that this sold, but it did take a long time. Next up was a very, very fast sale. This is a Harley Davidson 18-inch leather chain. This one sold before they asked to cancel it, and somebody did message me and say they think this is actually a boot chain to go around like biker boots or cowboy boots. So I got a bunch of low offers on this, didn't take them. It ended up selling for full price of $34.99. I picked this up at the thrift store. It was in the display case where you check out. I paid $5. So this one's about a $22 profit. Sold in a month, so not too bad for that. There was a little bit of wear, nothing significant. It was signed Harley Davidson, you can see there, and it was $19.95. So it was vintage. And it was a really, really fast sale. And I am happy with that, especially with having picked it up at the thrift store, because I very rarely find any jewelry type items there. Next up is one that took a long time to sell, and it's one that I've kind of learned my lesson with, and that is haul, especially brown haul. So these did sell for full price, but they took over 2 years. And I got these for $5 at a little garage sale on the side of the road in Kentucky. I remember exactly where I got them. So they're about a $22 profit, but they took forever. So I will not be picking up any brown haul. If I find cool haul pieces, I'll pick them up, but definitely going to pass on the brown. And I am happy that these are gone. Our last item for today is a brand that if you don't know, you definitely need to know. I found these a few times in the thrift stores. This is a Kangol Men's Bermuda 504 Newsboy hat, and it sold for a best offer of $29.24. It was listed 7 months, so I sent that 35% off. Picked it up in the thrift store for $5, so about a $17 profit. There is that Kangol tag. I have sold a kids Kangol hat very fast for $50, so they can sell fast. This one, unfortunately, did not, but it was still a good profit. All right, that was everything for this video. Be sure to watch Friday for the higher dollar items. We had so many that I'm going to be able to do a video for just a week's worth of sales for $50 and higher, which is really nice. Let me know if there was something that caught you by surprise, whether it was how fast it sold or how long it took to sell. I appreciate you watching. I hope the rest of your week goes very, very well. Leave me a comment, hit that thumbs up, share with your friends, make sure you're still subscribed, and I will see you on the next one.